I'm reading my piece in the magazine, which is titled Filson After the Character, and she is a female soldier in the Somali army. She's moved from Mogadishu, which was the capital, to Hargeisa, the second city of the country, to work in internal security. There's a rebellion brewing, and she believes in the revolution and believes that it's her role as a modern Somali woman to help the country stay together and to stay peaceful. So this is at a point in the novel where she is sent on an operation into the rural areas where Somalia meets Ethiopia, and she thinks her work will actually be very simple, but it doesn't end up being that way. It is a Tula, barely even a village. A few beehive-shaped dwellings with old cloth hanging from their entrances. A tea shop with kettles resting on open fires. One solitary stone building with a tin roof. Goats, stray children, a cleared space under a tall tree for religious lessons and clan meetings. The elders have been summoned, and Filson remembers her role in this theatre. She steps forward to intercept the three men, but they ignore her and carry on with their sticks and bandy legs to a conscript behind. She grabs the man on the right by the arm. Jale, it is me you need to speak with. He is a thin, wiry man, but he shakes her off with surprising force. Filson pursues, not willing to ask for anyone's assistance in dealing with him. She wants to drag him back by the long tufts of grey hair skirting his bald pate, and make him kneel at her feet. She catches up with him and shoves the barrel of her gun in the small of his back. Stop. He freezes and turns slowly to face her. She withdraws the rifle but holds it tightly, still aimed in his direction. My commander has delegated me to speak with you. We are here with the full authority of the revolutionary government. There is strong evidence that you have been assisting the outlawed National Freedom Movement, and to prevent further collaboration, the barricades surrounding this settlement will be destroyed. Filson speaks in a rush, not stopping to breathe. You are still entitled to use your traditional drop wells and will be supplied with supplementary water once a month by the local government. The whole village now seems to have crowded around her. The other soldiers have disappeared into the shacks. This is government land. Filson raises her voice and gestures to the expanse beyond them. And you do not even deny that you used the barricades to support the terrorists. The third elder, younger than the other two and still possessing a full head of black hair, joins the conversation. Jale, he says mockingly, we use those barricades to water our camels, our goats and sheep, to perform ablutions before prayers, for a cup of tea in the mornings. We have nothing to spare for anything else. We are in the middle of a long drought. Do you think we would give water to rebels? And then a huge plume of water, mud and stone, flies into the sky, to the west of the village, the bellow of the dynamite echoing against the limestone hills. The villagers run towards the explosions, the elders in the lead, children yelping in excitement and fear behind them. Filson catches up with the crowd just as Lieutenant Afrah orders the final detonation. The rectangular cement walls of the nearest barricade have been blown into fragments, and fresh water glides over the parched, eroded earth and slips quietly into deep cracks on the surface. The destruction silences the elders, but she can sense their anger in the same way she had learned to read her father's. The set of their jaws, the tension in their shoulders, their bodies angled away from the subject of their hate. The commandos begin to filter into view, smiling and relaxed, unconcerned by the reaction of the villagers. These kinds of raids are welcome to them, bringing minimal risk and potential loot. Filson pants after her chase and presses her palm against a stitch in her ribs. The villagers are rooted to the soil, their heads turning from crater to crater, false rain dripping from the acacias. She marches towards the elders, intending to explain the necessity of the action, the benefits they could enjoy if they only shunned the rebels, the projects that they might partake in to diversify the local economy. The red-haired elder swivels at her approach and swings his cane at her face. She doesn't notice her fingers squeeze the trigger of her rifle, as her whole body recoils from the blow. The knock of the rifle against her chest surprises her, as does the sudden pop of bullets. When the elder falls back onto his behind, she assumes that he has lost his balance trying to strike her, until points of blood spring up over his shirt, turning the white cloth a red that darkens before her eyes. Then the two other elders decide to drop to the ground too, their open eyes still watching her. Movements at the periphery of her vision are blurred, so she does not recognize the grey shadows as her comrades advancing on the prostrate men. "Hold fire!" shoots Lieutenant Afrah. Filson looks down at her feet and sees bronze beetles scuttling over them. She presses one boot on the other, and the beetles are stilled, transformed into empty bullet shells. The elders are slumped over each other like drunks. A howl sweeps over the plain as first one woman, and then another, rushes to the dead and dying bodies. Wilson tries to step forward, but her boots feel cemented down. Lieutenant Afrah aims his Kalashnikov at the young men in the crowd. "Get back! Back! Back!" A group of soldiers corner the youths and force them back to the cleared space at the centre of the threadbare settlement. Wilson notices for the first time how thin their calves are, just shafts of bone below their frayed sarongs. They are hustled away, hands on the back of their afros, to squat in the sun until the soldiers depart. An old woman pulls the wives off the corpses and shrouds the men's faces under a shawl. She says nothing, but turns to Filson and points a finger. Whether it is to lay blame, mark her out for retribution, or curse her, Filson cannot decipher. "Get in the truck, Jali. We will secure the area," Lieutenant Afrah orders. Filson peers down at her distant boots. "But I can't move." Afrah clicks his fingers and a conscript no older than 15 comes to his side. Escort her back to the truck. The conscript takes her elbow gently, like he would with his grandmother, and leads her forward as she stumbles over the broken ground. "You did well, Jali," he keeps repeating in her ear, as they trek the half-mile back to the vehicles. "But what happened? Who killed them?" she whispers. Thank you.